At 6 a.m., we begin with some breaking news. This is a look at video that was just sent to us by the fire department after an apartment fire in Spokane Valley injured 2 people overnight. Now, this morning, our Brandon T. Jones is joining us live from just outside that complex. So, Brandon, can you tell us more about what happened here?
Yeah, Channing, well, Spokane Valley Fire Department crews, they got the call around 1:30 a.m. earlier this morning, and you can see the damage here at this apartment complex. I want to go ahead and step out of the way for you really quick and just take it in and process it, because we've covered a lot of these type of fires, and this is honestly one of the worst that we've seen. You can see just the complete charred side in the middle of this building, and fire crews are still in there doing their investigation, trying to figure out what exactly sparked this fire. As you mentioned, Channing, 2 people were injured, transported to the hospital, and then crews also say they found multiple dead animals inside of the apartment complex. While working to extinguish the fire, crews evacuated others from the building. We're told about at least 15 to 20 people were displaced because of this fire. They're now working with Red Cross, and we were also speaking with some neighbors out here who said, you know, the complexes require some of that renter's insurance as well, so that are also probably working to get them into temporary housing. But again, 15 to 20 people who were affected by this fire. An additional 6 connecting apartments have potential of smoke and water damage. We've seen water leaking throughout this entire morning as well. And then, of course, this still is a developing story. So if we get any other new information, any other new details about what exactly took place this morning, we will continue to keep you updated, continue to keep you informed as well. But for now, reporting live here in Spokane Valley, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Time at 6:02 as we take a first look at our weather forecast today. It is mild outside. In fact, this is looking like one of our warmest low temperatures that we've seen so far this spring at 58 degrees currently in Spokane. It is mostly cloudy at the moment because we do have a cold front that is passing through. Might be sprinkling or lightly raining in a few locations. Looks like Spirit Lake and Newport would be the 2 spots that the rain is directly overhead on Doppler radar, but it should not last for very long. So a couple raindrops through the morning hours, becomes mostly sunny during the midday, and then it reclouds back up a little bit this afternoon. But our high temperatures are still expected in the mid-70s this afternoon.
Well, a heads up to anyone who takes 16th Avenue in Spokane to work. You will need to find a new route starting today. That's because WashDOT is starting a development project that will shut down the road between US 195 and Nettleton Lane. Now, this closure begins at 7 this morning in just under an hour, and it's expected to last until July 17th. At 6:04 this morning, let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. A hearing to determine whether or not Brian Kohberger's murder trial stays in Latah County is happening tomorrow. Kohberger is the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Earlier this month, a judge ruled to close this hearing to the public. Now, the actual trial date has not been set. A backcountry skier died in an avalanche in southern Idaho on Friday. According to the Sawtooth Avalanche Center, the skier died at Donaldson Peak in Custer County. Rescue crews believe a pair of skiers triggered the avalanche while trying to downclimb to their ski descent. And the mayor of Medical Lake is now suspending her congressional campaign. Mayor Terry Cooper was campaigning for the 5th Congressional District. On Friday, she announced she's pulling out of the race to focus on her community, which suffered heavily last August during the devastating Spokane County wildfires. And that's a look at your morning rush. The Grant County Sheriff's Office released new body cam video of a Moses Lake shooting on Friday. 2 people were injured, including a Moses Lake police officer.
Okay, Todd, find out if he's got a gun.
I'll have both of the guns.
Do you have a gun in your hand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, put the gun down. Back up, put the gun down.
Court documents say that 2 Moses Lake police officers responded to a domestic violence call at a Motel 6 on May 4th. The officers say they got a woman out of the motel room and asked the suspect, Zachary Stockton, to also step outside. But police say that Stockton refused and started shooting at them. Now, police did shoot back. Now, Stockton is being held in the Grant County Jail. The shooting is being investigated by the Central Basin Investigative Team. And the 2 officers who fired their guns are now on administrative leave as part of their protocol. Today, former President Donald Trump is due back in a New York courtroom. The prosecution's star witness, Michael Cohen, is also expected to take the stand. He's expected to give testimony describing the circumstances of his so-called hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels in 2016. Trump's lawyers are expected to question his credibility, though. CBS's Naomi Ruckham has more on what to expect from today.
I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial.
Former President Donald Trump railed against his Manhattan criminal trial to a crowd of supporters in New Jersey over the weekend. Today, in court, he's expected to come face to face with his former fixer, Michael Cohen, the man at the center of the prosecution's case.
I think that Michael Cohen's testimony will be fire and brimstone.
Cohen is expected to lay out his account that he paid adult film star Stormy Daniels $130,000 to hide an alleged past sexual encounter with Trump ahead of the 2016 election. Trump faces charges of falsifying business records to cover up his reimbursement to Cohen.
He really feels that it is up to him to be able to close this all up and deliver a verdict of guilty.
Trump has denied all wrongdoing. His lawyers argue that Cohen is not a credible witness, pointing out that he admitted to lying to Congress and that Cohen went to prison after pleading guilty to charges related to the payments.
Are you ready to testify?
Yes.
A year ago, Cohen told CBS News that he lied to Congress to benefit his former boss and that he's not out for vengeance.
This is solely about accountability.
Cohen has publicly discussed the trial as recently as last week. On Friday, Judge Juan Merchan instructed prosecutors to tell the star witness to stop talking. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Prosecutors are believed to now be in the home stretch of laying out their case. On Friday, they said they could potentially rest by the end of this week. Well, dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters arrested after blocking the road leading into SeaTac Airport last month are expected in court today. They'll be arraigned on a misdemeanor charge of failure to disperse. Most protesters also face a charge of disorderly conduct. Officers arrested 46 people. If convicted, they face up to about a year in jail and fines of up to $5,000. Now, pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli supporters clashed at the University of Washington. Yesterday afternoon, a United for Israel march began on campus in opposition to a pro-Palestinian student encampment that began more than a week ago.
Just that we're here, we won't back down. I think that the protesters are wrong, and their message just doesn't make any sense to me.
I personally can't understand protesting against, fighting against genocide.
Now, UW leaders released a statement saying safety and security are a campus priority. Right now, barricades are in place around the school's quad to stop the opposing groups from engaging with one another.
Time is 6:09. Another check of our weather forecast, which is incredibly mild this morning. No need for the jacket if you don't mind it a little cool, but at 58 for a low temperature, that's probably our warmest low so far of the spring season. Quite a bit of sunshine just coming out in the eastern sky, but we do have some passing cloud cover coming in from the west overhead, and that's because there is a very weak cold front that is now directly over Spokane. This is moving incredibly fast this morning. Now, there's not a whole lot of rain. There's a little bit associated with that. In fact, in the last couple frames here, you can see just a bit of some green spots on Doppler radar. So maybe a sprinkle or a very quick shower this morning, but these clouds are going to pass through pretty quickly. So we'll have variable cloudiness today and a decently breezy day, but do notice that our temperatures stay warm all week long, basically off the backs of our warm weekend that we just had.